Guys, hello everyone. Today I am going to continue the sharing with you about the secrets of how to achieve success. And at this stage, in this video specifically, I am going to tell you why Chinese people and other Asian people such as Japan, Korean, Taiwanese are so good at math. I mean, they even much better than the people from Europe and other countries. To make it clear, I will give you some examples and I will describe the lifestyle of the culture of Chinese culture and culture of Western people, specifically their lifestyle and more specifically the way how they worked with cultivation. Well, the main affair of Chinese people was the affair which was related with rice paddies. But this activity wasn't only about how to, some plant seed, wait for the rain, and then harvest the crop. No, it was much harder and much complicated. It was about the skills. It was all about passions and proficiency. Because growing the rice and taking care of the rice was so hard and so complex. Indeed, Chinese people they had to always supervise the water level, um, take care of the irrigation system, control the level of clay pan, and when they put the seed into the ground, they didn't do only this kind of simple activity when you put the seed in the ground and then cover it with another ground. No, you had to put the seed, the rice seed, very carefully on the specific distance with the specific ground and water, so it was very hard. Moreover, the lifestyle of Chinese people look like that. Mm, she or he, man or woman, so she or he had to, the first one, plant, uh, put the seeds into the ground. Then he or she had to work with some family activities, take care of, I don't know, wife, husband, or daughters or sons. Then okay, let's take man. Chinese man had to make the seed selection very carefully, then build the irrigation system, build the dike in order to control the clay pan and water level, and then harvest the first crop, and then prepare the second crop. So you see, this full-time job, full-time work was so saturated and was so intensive, which is downright is different. It was different with the lifestyle, with the way of cultivation of the Western people. The way of how Western people worked looked like that. They put some seeds into the ground. After that, they waited for the rain in order to fertilize and make their, I don't know, vegetables or some other crop grow. And then in the early autumn, they harvested the crop. It wasn't so hard. Frankly, it wasn't so hard. It wasn't the affair about rice paddies. They didn't have to have any skills, any proficiency. Furthermore, after the autumn, after the harvest, after Chinese people or Western people had harvested their crop, the winter came, and what Chinese people did again is different with what Western people did. Um, you might think that all these two groups went through the idleness, but they weren't. Chinese people repaired the dike because irrigation system again is very important. They repaired some mud hut. made some baskets, some huts, trapped insects, caught some snakes. It was a delicacy, and made some other affairs with their family. So their life was very was very hard and complex even in the winter because they had so many activities to do. In contrary, Western people, they only hoped on their suppliers of the crop which they had harvested. And therefore, in order to keep their power, in order to keep their energy, they had to work less and in order to eat less because they didn't have enough suppliers and the amount of meal had been reducing as well as their power and their energy because they didn't nothing in the winter, as for instance Chinese people did, catching snakes and other things. Um, at this point, I want to share with you the proverb of Chinese culture and the proverb of some Western people. For example, the Russian group of people. I don't know exactly, but I know the main point, the main sense. The the Russian proverb is look like that. When God didn't um, when God didn't create any kind of results or any outcomes, when God didn't give you something, then the ground will didn't give you something too. Um, Contrary, Chinese proverb: when you work hard, when you work intensive, and when you work in the right or appropriate group of people, you will achieve the substantial outcome. So the attitude and the way of thinking is very different. So the first thing which I said was attitude. At this point you might think, so what if I am from, I don't know, Kazakhstan or Russia or some other Western countries, I will be not so good at mathematics as Chinese and other Korean or Japanese people are. But it is not so. If you change your attitude towards the mathematics, you will be able to work hard, work intensively, and you will achieve the significant outcome. Yes, indeed, um, culture should have sorry, culture should have a place here. But if you will change your attitude, so here I will just propose you another example which was conducted by one professor, Schoenfield. So he took some group of people. The one group he gave them the mathematical tasks from the 8th grade class. Um, the one group of people, they didn't able to solve the task even it was very easy. They were Western people, but it was very easy. They spent only about 5 or 10 minutes in average to solve this task and to understand that they were not able to do that. In contrary, another group of people, specifically one woman, her name was Renee, she spent 22 minutes. She didn't know innately, she didn't had those knowledge in her brain how to solve this task. but her attitude allows her to put so much effort and to spend 22 minutes on solving these tasks. So if Renee was a Chinese girl, she would absolutely solve this task. But she was a Western, nevertheless. If she will learn some mathematical rules, with her attitude, she will absolutely achieve the result, positive result. But it is only about culture, I said. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you will not achieve success in mathematics if you are not from Chinese group of people. Another factor, which is not less substantial, is the linguistic structure. Well, the first one is the linguistic structure of numbers of the Chinese, Taiwanese, and other countries, Asian countries, is very simple and very regular. In contrast to that, the structure of Western people and structure words number of our own country is irregular. So let me just point you the example. Share it with you with one example. For instance, if we write 4, 5, 6, 7, the words are so long and so irregular. I mean, what is the connection between them? Why they are so long? In contrast to that, the Chinese numbers look like that. C, Wu, Yu, Ki. I'm sorry for my accent, so to make it clear, I will just only show you. So you see, these words are too long, and these words short. And therefore, people in China, it was very easy for the children to learn how to calculate, because it wasn't so hard to remember these words into their brain. I mean, please remember, if I would tell to my, for instance, to this little brother or to my little sister who just went to the first grade, please remember 4, 5, 6, 7 or 7, 5, 6, 4. I think he will not remember them so quickly as he would remember Si, Wu, Liu, Qi. Again, I'm sorry. So you see, it is only about the breadth of the words. Another thing is about whether they are regular or whether they are irregular. If we would use, for instance, 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12, then 13. Do you see any connection between those words? Then imagine that you don't know English. Imagine. Do you see any connection? Or imagine that you don't know Russian. For instance, 10, 11, 12, 13. The only thing which is regular is T, окончание. But the only thing which is irregular, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Why wouldn't we use 1 teen or 2 teen? Why? So for the children, it is a little bit hard to understand and to see this connection and to understand that this connection is right, actually. But when we are talking about the Chinese language, Korean language, if we translate the same numbers 10, 11, 12, 13, they will look like that. 10, 10, 1, 10, 2, 10, 3. Very logically and very regular. Furthermore, the way how we write the numbers is very different too. And so the Chinese language For instance, the number 1 in Chinese language looks like that, and number 8. So very simple, just like that and like that. But in our languages, sorry, a little bit harder, right? So, therefore, it is only these two, not two, but some very tiny details plays a huge role in the entire culture, plays a huge role. So it is obvious that Korean, Japan, Taiwanese, and Chinese people take first places in all mathematical contests. At this point, I want to conclude that if you work hard, if you work intensive as Chinese people are their rice paddies, and if you get some reward after that. So again, I'm sorry, I forgot to point out about the reward. What was reward for Chinese people? The systems in Chinese and Western culture was different. Chinese people weren't slaves. When the Western people, some of them, they did. They were hired by some aristocrats, and they didn't control the slaves didn't control their destiny. In contrary to that, Chinese people, again, they weren't slaves, and they only paid the rent for the ground, but the way how to work on the ground, what to do on the ground, and with whom to do on this ground, I mean rice paddies, it was their own affair, their own deal. And the incentives, the reward was, it means that if I will work hard, I will get more crop, I will pay rent, and I will gain more profit. It was kind of reward, but there were unfortunately no reward for the slaves in the Western countries. And at this point, I really want to conclude that if you work hard, if you work intensively, if you work harder than your peers, as Chinese people did, they worked harder than the Western people. And then subsequently you will get the rewards. You will be successful. You will be able to understand. But first of all, you have to understand the uniqueness of your culture, how your culture is different from the cultures of other countries. And again, you will understand your weaknesses, your strong sides. You will see the weaknesses and strong sides of other people, and some of them, the strong sides, you will try to implement. From the weaknesses, you will try to get rid of. And this system will help you to be successful at every science, at everything that where you want to be successful at. So thank you guys for your attention. Thank you guys for watching that videos. I hope you enjoyed. Really, I hope that you just made that you understood something, and you just took something very useful and important for yourself. So thank you so much guys for your attention, and I will see you in my next videos. Bye.